What up, though? Welcome back to I'm growNman. It's your man John D in the building. Happy holidays to everybody. I hope you guys are with the people and the environment that brings you the most joy out of life, especially during this festive time. So those of you that find reasons not to support this part of the year, I do know the history of it all, but at the end of the day, it's how you spend it. And if you're not doing this throughout the year, enjoy the moments with the purpose of family and friends. And those of you that don't have family and friends, I hope in the near future, more doors open up to you for you to be around people in their happiest moments in life. Today, I wanted to, kind of make a response on the protection of Black women. I'm married to a Black woman. I'm half Black. My mother's Korean. So I can't say that my father knew how to protect Black women himself. So I didn't have that understanding. But being married 16 years and then hearing these messages and the things that my wife, wants to happen, she gives me a different perspective. I have to put that into consideration on what's important because I'm married to a Black woman, and when she brings out the point on why she feels like Black women aren't being protected, being her husband, I'm supposed to listen and try to empathize as much as possible. At the beginning, I don't think I was really listening. I kind of I just was not fully involved. I wasn't invested in how she was feeling. But over the course of time, listening, now I understand. I don't think that anybody's out there intentionally trying to disrespect. They're just doing what they believe they're supposed to be doing. I was born in the late 70s, and I was a teenager during the post peak of the crack epidemic. And when Black folks was coming outside enjoying themselves during different festive occasions like Freaknik, the Essence Festival, other things throughout the United States. And when I say that, I'm just saying what my eyes were starting to pay attention to. And rap music for me was the only music. And listening to rap music during that time, that positive pro-Black music, I just was not into. I wasn't mature enough to understand it. And I kind of just favored toward the player music, pimps music, that mentality. So having a father that wasn't good in relationships, 'cause I said my mother left, my examples were entertainment. And protecting Black women was not a message until maybe the last 10 years. And like I said, I've been trying to learn because I want to protect my wife, my daughter, my family members when I can. And when I watch people say things where they don't protect Black women, they're not doing it on purpose. They don't know that that's unacceptable until after the fact. And then somebody says they didn't do this. Because I'm going to tell you, I've lived abroad before, and I've learned that American Black people are totally different from any other group of Black people. It's hard to, it's not really hard to explain. Growing up in America, I feel like slavery is a constant reminder that we came from really tough times. And our slavery is the most difficult slavery in comparison to the rest of the world. So, and the reason why I'm giving this caveat, because sitting with other people, particularly Canada and the UK, you could just hear how they say they don't have the same gripe as we have with white people. And they explain it, and they're right. The white people that they have problems with didn't treat them like the white people treated us. So we have a different struggle. And when I'm watching those two young men that really got a bad rap, and I listened to their apology, and I really believe they meant it, but there was no way that they could have been prepared for that because they don't even look at it the same way as we do. And I could say this. I do believe that there are American black men that could have done the same thing they did also. You don't know until you're in the situation. And now I feel like people are going to be more prepared when they feel like a black woman not being protected. Because when people talk about it, people are more like, it's like dropping a seed because they don't want to be disrespected. And like I said, the messages I grew up on had nothing to do about protecting black women. I wasn't going to hit a black woman. I can't say that I've cussed out a black woman. Well, I haven't say I've cussed out any woman. I don't recall, at least. If I did, it was in my youth before I matured. But I don't recall even doing that. But not hitting anyone. So in my head, protection it's way deeper when you're married to one because you understand the things that you don't pay attention on a daily basis. I'm a man, I'm a black man, and I'm half Korean. So I had my own journey. So let alone knowing how to protect this woman I'm not even qualified to protect, but since my skin color says that it could possibly work, or, my educational background or my motivation to do well in life attracted her, I ended up getting a responsibility I didn't even know about. And to watch people not know how to respond in situations like that, and then people beat up on them like I would have done this, so easy to attack. And I think this is one of the reasons, because people don't know how to respond. Like, honestly, if I'm caught up and I said something wrong, I can apologize for not knowing. You know what I'm saying? But it won't happen again. And I think a lot of times the way that people apologize for things that they say they don't want to take back is because that's their belief system. And their belief system is going to affect their most important product that they're creating, and that's their finances. Like, if you really believe in what you believe in, you wouldn't change what you say. But money changes people. And I could say this. If I say something to offend you, please believe it wasn't on purpose. And I'm willing to apologize immediately in front of whoever you feel like I need to say it. I don't need anybody to write up something so that I don't offend because I want my language to be received by any and all. And it comes in peace. But when you're on TV and you are generating this brand to create this money, it makes you a different person, and you stand up for the wrong things, listening to how people respond. It's okay to just like, my bad, I did not know, it was a bad joke, I thought this was something that was going to hit. And then when I realized it, I got defensive because I couldn't understand. Like, I'm a comedian, I mess up. And I think that's it. But that's any person, just even the podcasters, they could have done the same thing. But I feel like when you don't know how to apologize, you don't even know what you did wrong. It's probably going to happen again. Like, I'm not saying like even me, because I put myself in that situation. Like, what would you've done? And I don't think I would have known I would have supposed to. I don't think I would have laughed. I'd have been like, I probably asked more questions. What makes you feel that way? Like, what's your pool of people? Like, I think my opinion probably could surpass that, but it's an opinion, and I think we get upset because we want people to be smarter than they are. If people don't want to think about how people are going to feel, they can come up with whatever title to justify that I don't have to think about somebody's feelings. And I know we're living in a world where it's like, you sensitive. I don't think it's that we're sensitive. I think it's you just grew up in probably a tougher environment, and your feelings were disrespected at an early age, and you got numb to it. And you said, hey, you need to be tough like me. And I don't think that's the case in anybody. I don't think anybody wants to go through that. But the idea of being sensitive because you hurt my feelings, like, my bad, I didn't grow up that tough. I got my own demons. I didn't know I was supposed to look for a tougher way to grow up. And I think that's the case because everybody thinks somebody grew up understanding like somebody's trials and tribulations, and that's not the case. Yeah. So back to the protection of Black women. I'm still learning. I promise I'm learning, but I'm doing it on purpose at this point because being that my wife and I have a podcast and people are listening, we know at some point people are going to want to have us talk. And I don't want to say anything that could ever make my wife feel like I'm not protecting her. And even in my past, I didn't know what protection meant. I didn't know what it looked like. I was still trying to figure out how to be a man, let alone protect my wife. And I know like a lot of times people feel like, people should be confident in being a man. I'm really confident in what I know, but I know that there are so many other things that I don't know. And I want to respond in a way that's not going to compromise my wife's feelings because her feelings are important to me. And if I love her, I need to do my best to protect those when I speak. And sometimes you're going to get caught off guard. But if you prepare and you learn your person, you understand what you can and can't do. And at the end of the day, your person will know, like, yeah, shoot, I didn't know that was supposed to hurt my feelings, so I couldn't tell you that. But, like, somebody's going to be hurt. But like I said, my language comes in peace. And if you find some disruptive words that can offend you, please help me figure that out because it wasn't on purpose. I'm not the type of person talking about you too sensitive. I'm the type of person that says I come in peace and I want to learn from you so that we can grow together and become a better community of humans. This idea of not protecting the Black woman, I've seen men protect the black women, married the Black woman, and still practice behaviors that's not protecting the Black woman. But they don't know that that's considered, I don't know. I can't just speak for my opinion, but protecting the Black woman requires discussion with your person if you're married to one. Because if you knew how to protect the Black woman, I don't think this discussion would even be had. But I believe that social media has caused an uproar and that the Black woman is going to make sure that their voice is going to be heard and be treated accordingly. And I think that's for everybody. I think when you know the rules of engagement, it's less likely for anybody to disrespect on purpose unless they want to smoke. And like I said, I don't think anybody wants to smoke, especially with Black women. Black women, American Black women, to just separate that group, are the most decorated and awesome group of people filled with education and experience out of any other group of people. Like between, 21 and 47, like you can't find another group of successful people. Like they're remarkable and their voice needs to be heard. And I'm going to do my best to play my part. I know I come on here and I talk about relationships, but the relationships I created with my wife makes me want to talk about this. And it's not like, this isn't for clickbait. This isn't for, anything that you could find negative. It was just to bring awareness for people that don't know how to respond accordingly when they hear something that they haven't heard. And if you respond ignorantly, it's okay to say, hey, I probably should have kept my mouth closed. I'm always trying to participate in conversations and I got caught up. I got caught up in the moment. And I think people can look at body language. Like nobody wants to be fake about that. Like I didn't do that on purpose. I'm sorry. I'll do a better job next time. But like they keep doing it, that they don't mean it. But at the end of the day, like, I'm sorry. Like I really didn't know that I was going to offend anybody. And you're more likely to get like, dang, he's human. And then the world will continue. But everybody wants to be canceled because everybody's not perfect at their craft. Everybody's learning, especially being a human. With that being said, I will do my very best to continue to push a message to help all groups of people, but particularly protecting Black women, because that is a message that we're all learning. And I think we all want to learn. If you don't want to learn, continue to participate in poor practices of treating people, on how to treat people. But for the rest of you guys who want to make the world a better place, I tell you this, Black women will protect any and everybody too. particularly the black man, but they do believe in mankind. I do know that. They will help any and everybody, especially mothers. And when I say mothers, black mothers will, unless, of course, they grew up in a tough environment and they're all about their own, but they will help out. And I've seen people they're not as open. And, that's just my experience. But shout out to black women, American black women who feel that you're not being protected and still are pushing forward to make sure that your voice is heard and deserves to be heard. Shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to all of you guys who believe that we need to do a better job at making sure that they don't feel that way. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose.